Hi, peeps. I'm Auriel Grace, and this is a spiritual show. So it's summertime, and the summer's theme is healing modalities. So we've talked about Reiki, which is awesome, and we've talked about last week. We talked about cord cutting and chakras. Yay! Because I love energy work, and I have experienced many modalities that have truly helped me. And you have asked me about different modalities, so I'm going to give you some info so you're better informed and you can pick your modality that resonates with you. Okay? Okay, so this week we're talking about soul retrieval. Yes. Okay, so I am a soul retrieval practitioner. I love doing soul retrieval. It's very fun for me to see people transform. And soul retrieval is very transforming. It is. It's amazing. I um I had soul retrieval sessions done. It was I was in Colorado, so it was a lifetime ago. But I had them done in Colorado because I I really wanted to change my life. I wanted to expand my business. I had some decisions, some really important decisions that I needed to make. And I was just lacking in energy. You know, you get to those places where you're just like, ugh. Well, that's how I felt. And so I had three soul retrieval sessions in about like a month and a half. I think that's what it was. And during those three soul retrieval sessions, I found that like I didn't feel as burdened and clearer. I could think clearly. I could strategize better. Um, this was back in the day, like when the internet first was going. So like there wasn't as much like we couldn't market on the internet. This was still when like we were doing shows and we were like advertising, making little flyers and handing them out during shows or business cards, and so marketing wasn't like as fun as it is now, I guess. Um, so it was, and plus I lived in a very small town, and so I had to get out more. So I did these sessions, and I found that with each session, like layers of stuff was coming off, layers of old beliefs, like that would stop me from moving forward. So it was pretty great. By the end of the month and a half or so, I really did feel better. Um, I shifted my focus. I had better strategies. I was able to think clearly, and I was able to just manage my time better. So so I always recommend soul retrieval. It's a way to grace. That's what I call it, a way to grace, because I felt too that I have a very passionate temper, and so now though, like with between the soul retrieval and some other healing modalities, I'm more able to be calmer and think calmly and just manage my life better. So this is I feel like when you get soul retrieval done, a lot of the stuff that you felt like was really important really doesn't matter anymore. You don't get stuck in the spin. And a lot of us do that. We spin our thoughts. So, okay. So, this is kind of like how it goes down. So, you're able to like balance or cut out soul contracts, like old soul contracts that are not helping you anymore. And because you're able to like balance that out, you know, it doesn't, you feel that burden being lifted off of you. Okay? That's one of the things that happens. You'll bring in an aspect of yourself that you lost and now you found it and you bring it in. Helps strengthen your core. Okay? And we balance out trauma from other lifetimes, which is great, especially for some of the things that we're going to talk about here in a minute. But we cut cords, big cords that hold you back, and we clear out all the energy that goes with those cords, which is pretty awesome. And through the Soul Retrieval teaches us to bring forth that knowledge that we learned in the past. We bring it forth into the present, and we're able to utilize it, right? So it is a way to grace. Okay, so like I said, I was at a crossroads. I was able to clear out a bunch of gunk and bring that wisdom forward, and it was pretty great. You can read about it on my Clarity 101 blog on the website at aurielgrace.net, and in the show notes I will leave a link to it. If you want to read about other people that I've done soul retrieval with, you can go to my website, aurielgrace.net, and click on the sessions tab and scroll down a little bit, and you'll see the blogs. You'll see the names of each blog, and you can read about them. Pretty cool. And here's an example. One of my friends who is a nurse, and she's just as cute as she could be, and so energetic, and, you know, she's just, like, lovely. But she was having a hard time with clients because they just, you know, they just didn't like her. And she was very sad because of it. And so I was like, okay, so let's see what's going on with this. So we did some soul retrieval. We did one session, one lifetime. We balanced that out. And a lot of the reason why people didn't like her was because of her voice and her laugh. And we were able to go back to a lifetime, clear out that like nervousness or stress, and she was able to loosen up, and her actual voice did change, and her laugh changed, and people liked her more. And she was so relieved by that because all she wanted to do was help people. And you can read about that one too. That one's a good one. And it really was transforming for her. I think that one's called the Fairy Godmother. I'm not sure because that's what she always called herself, a fairy godmother. So that's what she wanted to be. All right. So when I did my soul retrieval, I did three sessions. And after that, I learned how to do soul retrieval. And it was pretty amazing. It was. It did change my life. Totally. Completely. I went from Colorado to Chicago. And that just totally changed my life in the greatest way. It really did. So what happens during soul retrieval? A lot of people want to know what happens. First, what we do is we have a sit down and we talk about what it is exactly your goals are. And that way we can focus in on what you truly want and desire, right? So here's the big ones. Here's the big ones that people ask about. And it's something for you to think about as well. Vows of poverty, vows of celibacy, vows of silence, and vow of obedience. Now, these 4 vows, a lot of times, spiritual people will take these vows. So like priests, priestesses, nuns, spiritual people will take these vows. And if you take the vows in your past lives over and over and over and over again, guess what happens? So, because a lot of people are concerned, I can't get past this level of making money. What's going on with that? You know, why can't I break through, right? And so we'll go back to the first time that you took that vow, whether it's poverty, celibacy, silence, or obedience. We'll go back to that first time. We're going to shift that contract. And then from there, you'll feel a domino effect going through each lifetime that you did take that vow, and it'll shift out, which is great, right? So, and then from there, it shifts it shifts your perspective on your poverty and creates a different way of thinking for you. You're more open to, other ways of creating prosperity, maybe, or you're more able to create prosperity with what you're doing. It works. Okay, so the other one is overcoming fear of childbirth. A lot of women have that problem, and so we work through that. Unrequited love, that's a huge one. And fear of success, a saboteur. So those are ones that to think about, like, do you want to change? And it's not just them. Just like with my friend, the fairy godmother, it wasn't anything of those things. It was her and her voice. So we had to shift something in that. And it was very traumatic. And that's why it stayed with her through lifetimes. Okay? All right. So during the session itself, we will go back to the lifetime. Like, say you took vows of poverty. We will go back to the initial lifetime, and we shift that contract. We shift it, and we shift the vow so that the effect that it has on other lifetimes changes, and then it changes in this lifetime. Okay, so we go back, we shift the contract, you pull back into yourself what you left behind, and then we go into the void. That's what I call it. It's the soft, velvety darkness of the void. And we start to clear your spirit guides, my spirit guides, all the spiritual people are working on this, plus me. And so we cut those cords. We cut a bunch of cords. And we clear your energy field. We do. And any kind of baggage or burdens that you're carrying, it gets dropped into the void. And then you move out of the void and you move into a place where you draw into yourself some sort of strength, some kind of something that will assist you with making better decisions or living your life the way you want to live it. So, like, I brought in Bast, and because I needed to be a little bit more playful, I needed to be stronger, and I needed to be strategic, and Bast is that, right? So I brought in that energy into my core, and I was more able to do the things that I needed to do, and I released whatever it was that was holding me back. So it is very empowering. After we get through, at the end, you're going to hear me say, I'm going to wrap you up in an energetic Band-Aid. Or, it's like, I look at it as kind of like saran wrap. So, like, I energetically wrap you up. And the reason why I do that is because I want everything to heal. And I want it to heal for your highest and best good. Also, when we do cut cords and we let go of those burdens, sometimes there's people that we know in this lifetime that are attached to that, and they can feel that shift. Whether they can name it or not, they will try to contact you. And I always recommend that you don't contact anyone from the past or anyone that aggravates you now. If they call you, text you, or whatever, just ignore them for the first 7 days after your soul retrieval, because we do not want them to reestablish their energy in your energy field. We want you to have nice, clean energy. And so doing that, it assists with your healing. Okay? All right. So that's really what happens during soul retrieval, and that's for one lifetime. Some people want to do 2 or 3 lifetimes, and that's fine. Sometimes I will just recommend to you 1 lifetime, and a lot of people are like, wow. And I'm like, well, because, it looks like this is all we need to do for right now. And we will just do that. And then we'll see how things pan out in the next couple of months. And if you have to go back and do another lifetime, that's fine too. but I try to like make sure that you're only doing what is for your highest and best good as a soul retrieval practitioner. So I don't want you to be overwhelmed. Okay? All right. So that is soul retrieval. And you will find that, like, when you have a session done, it's pretty, you feel pretty amazing. And but it does take some thoughts, some ideas, and you have to be strong in that thought or idea. Like, this is what I want to accomplish. I want to accomplish, success. I want to see myself successful, and I want to do that. And that's one reason why I did the soul retrieval too, is for my success. And yes, I am successful. I love what I do. It is so amazing. And so for you, it may be a whole different thing altogether, and that's okay. We'll think about it, we'll talk about it, we'll figure it out, and we'll get it going on. Okay, so that's what I have to say about soul retrieval. Like I said, the blogs are on the website. You can go check it out and see if it resonates with you. If it doesn't resonate with you, that's okay too. At least you know about it. You have some wisdom there, right? So the next healing modality I'm going to be talking about is cranial sacral work. And that is an amazing practice. And I know some really awesome cranial sacral therapists. And so I think that that'll be a good talk as well. And maybe you might want to have a session too. Okay. All right. So it is July. It's really hot. So please stay safe. Please stay hydrated. Please be present. Have a wonderful week. And remember, keep your heart open and align with the energy of love. I'll see you next week. Bye.